Right now on NBC 23 News, we are just hours away from our next SpaceX Starship flight. We'll tell you what you can expect from today's big event.
Good morning and thank you so much for joining us for NBC 23 News today. I'm Jeremiah Marshall. Meteorologist Jessica Kirk joins us in studio. It is a big day for the Valley and SpaceX as the company attempts a third launch of its Starship rocket. We're bringing you live coverage near the launch site. Our Sonya Hill will kick off our live coverage in just a minute. But first, meteorologist Jessica Kirk has our forecast. So Jessica, how's it looking out there?
Jeremiah, we have perfect conditions. Hopefully some people are able to go out and watch. If not, like Jeremiah said, we're going to have full coverage for you here. This is a live look further inland in the Edinburgh area. Across the valley, we're looking at wonderful conditions. Rain-wise, we're not seeing anything. Any of those little light green patches that you see on the screen right now is what's called ground clutter. The atmosphere, the radar is mistaking other things in the atmosphere for rain. So in terms of the rain, we are all good. We have a couple of clouds out there, but that's not going to mess anything up. And temperatures are on the warm side. We're in the mid-70s across the board. Out there on the island looking at 75, Port Isabel 74. And let me tell you, with all this moisture in the air, it feels muggy outside. So no need to have a jacket of any sort. We're going to be outside this morning. Current wind speeds, that's going to be what we're keeping an eye on today. It is a little bit on the breezy side. Winds sustained are anywhere from that 18 to 23 mile per hour mark, looking towards those coastal areas. And as for that launch outlook, let me tell you, it's going to be a breezy one. It's going to be cloudy, temperatures in the 70s, but right now conditions look phenomenal. I'll be back in a little bit with some more details on not only a look at what's happening this morning, but also heading into this weekend.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much. And like we said, it is a big day for SpaceX as the company attempts a third launch of its Starship rocket. Our Sonya Hill joins us now live from the Raptor Roost with a preview. Good morning, Sonya.
Good morning, Jeremiah. That is right. We're just hours away from the next launch of the Starship rocket from Starbase on Boca Chica, which is not far from where I'm standing right now. It is 3.8 miles from Raptor Roost. The rocket system, it consists of two parts. Starship is a rocket that is sitting on top of the booster, which is referred to as Super Heavy. According to SpaceX, it is a fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth's orbit, the moon, Mars, and maybe even beyond. The nearly 400-foot rocket is described as the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed. SpaceX says Starship is taking a different trajectory on this flight, landing in the Pacific Ocean near the coast of Hawaii. Neither rocket survived to make it that far yet. SpaceX is hoping today's flight will end with a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Well, as I just explained, the Super Heavy booster, it is expected to detach from Starship right after liftoff. The booster is expected to make a splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico about 12 miles off the coast of South Padre Island, and then Starship will be moving forward towards the Indian Ocean, and if it makes it there, it will not be recovered.
All right, and Sonya, can you tell us more about the first and second test launches and share some of reaction from those events?
Well, of course I can, Jeremiah. The second launch happened back in November. So Starship did successfully lift off in that launch and made it through the stage separation process. And it was at that stage the booster, it suffered a mishap resulting in a mid-air explosion. The FAA identified several corrective actions that needed to be addressed before giving SpaceX approval for today's launch attempt. For the Super Heavy booster, those actions, they included redesigns, updated control system modeling, and more. The Starship, those changes included hardware redesigns, flammability analysis updates, and the installation of more fire protection. After liftoff, our crews were able to get reaction from some very excited fans.
I was really awestruck. My mouth was like gaping open because I've never seen anything like it before. And so it was really interesting because I didn't realize how loud it would be, especially at the end when the explosion happened. It was just beautiful.
We're watching the future. That was the most powerful rocket ever launched. I mean, it was like all the engines look good. It was fantastic. So we're all just so stoked to be here. I mean, it was still a long drive, but we're just so stoked to be here.
Blame them for being excited. Despite the corrective changes, SpaceX considered the second launch a successful learning experience.
3, 2, 1.
And back in April of last year, SpaceX conducted its first test flight. Starship was supposed to separate from the booster after liftoff, but that never happened. According to SpaceX, multiple engines on the 33-engine booster were not firing, causing the rocket to lose altitude and begin to tumble. The self-destruct system kicked in and the rocket blew up over the Gulf of Mexico.
As you move away from the point of impact, the sound level decreases.
And Sonya, there are a lot of concerns from the community about ground shaking after these launches. Some said there have been rumbles like an earthquake. We just heard from a mechanical engineer at UTRGV. What else did he have to say so we can give people more peace of mind?
So Jeremiah, the science behind all of this is actually really cool. He told us that what people are claiming to feel, that is a result of the sound itself. He says the impact of the force on the surrounding atmosphere and objects is called pressure waves. When the rocket takes off, the sound peaks at 150 decibels. But he doubts the force of the launch will do any serious damage to nearby property. Plus, SpaceX has made some structural changes at the launch pad to prevent issues that occurred during the first launch.
The first Starship launch, where concrete blocks just flew off. But for the subsequent launches, I think now they have what is called this water deluge system. So that is designed to minimize that impact on the launch pad and the flying off of all these concrete blocks and so on and so forth.
But it is important to note there were a few reports of broken windows with the previous test launches.
All right, so pressure waves. All right, Sonya, good to know. And the engineer also mentioned changes to the launch pad. Can you go into more detail about the changes and explain how the process works?
Right, Jeremiah. So NASA spaceflight did confirm that during the first launch of Starship, the concrete underneath the launch pad, it was destroyed, sending rocks and bits of rubble everywhere. And to ensure that that doesn't happen again, SpaceX built a unique water damage system that includes a giant steel plate for the Raptor engines to fire against. The new water-cooled deflector is actually designed to protect the pad from the forces of the engine. The plate, think of it kind of like an upside-down shower head. It's filled with water at high pressure, which is then released through holes. The water is then vaporized from the heat of the engines, and this process takes the heat away from the steel plate to keep it from melting. Very cool, literally.
Very cool, Sonya, indeed. Thank you so much. We'll check back with you in a half hour. Thank you so much. Also happening today.
That's the idea. I think that fans should be as uncertain as Nolan Price is.
His way. We are screwed. Are you tendering your resignation?
We don't know if this guy's a sort of, short-term thinking politician, or if he has some more depth or integrity to him.
Qualities unquestioned in McCoy, but subject to question now.
I'm going to do everything in my power to create a constructive and transparent relationship with the police.
Mark Barker, NBC News.
And Goldwyn is not the new to Law & Order to the universe. He directed an episode of the show several years ago and appeared on Law & Order Criminal Intent. Law & Order airs tonight at 7 p.m. right here on NBC 23. All right, thank you so much for sticking with us. The time now is 5:30 on NBC 23 News Today. I'm Jeremiah Marshall. Meteorologist Jessica Kirk joins us live here in studio, and our Sonya Hill is live at Raptor Roost covering SpaceX third launch of the Starship rocket. But first, let's go ahead and get a look at our forecast.
Yeah, we're looking at great conditions out there, keeping an eye on those winds. Right now, looking at low 70s for those temperatures. Visibility has dropped slightly as well. Mostly cloudy skies. And remember, sunrise is not until 7:40 a.m. because of the time change. So that means until 7:15 or so, we're going to be pretty dark out there for anyone who's heading out or who's already out there to hopefully see this launch. During the launch window, temperatures in the low 70s, mostly cloudy skies, and it's going to be that way for much of today as well. So if you are heading out to the beach later, it's going to be a great day to be out there, just a little bit breezy. Now, if you're not out on the beach, don't worry, I'm still going to have your forecast for you. We're going to be in the mid 70s this morning, 75 in McAllen, 74 in the Harlingen area, 72 out in Roma. It is warm and it is muggy and it is windy. Current winds coming from the southeast, running 15 to 20 miles per hour for many. And these are the sustained winds. We've already seen gusts higher than this today, and we're going to continue to see that this afternoon. We still got to talk about that launch forecast. I'll have updates throughout the remainder of this next hour and a half. It's also going to be windy and warm today. We have rain in the forecast starting on Saturday. I'll have all those details and more coming up.
Sounds good. Jessica, thank you so much. And like we said, it is a big day for the Valley and a big day for SpaceX as the company attempts a third launch of its Starship rocket. This morning, our Sonya Hill joins us live at the Raptor Roost to talk about traffic controls. Good morning, Sonya.
That's right, Jeremiah. So don't forget, we are still smack dab in the middle of spring break, and the spring breakers, they have descended upon our beautiful island. But this year, the spring breakers are being treated to an additional attraction, a Starship launch. The thousands of visitors who come to enjoy the beach or view the launches will have to pass through Port Isabel. Port Isabel police say the combination of both events means double police and maybe even double trouble during spring break. Police say reckless and intoxicated driving. The numbers increase during spring break. Plus, there will be more cars on the road because of all those SpaceX fans.
We have spring break. We have this launch going on, and we want to make sure that everybody comes to their destination in a safe manner and that they leave back home in a safe manner as well. But more than anything, please have patience with us.
Well, officers did tell us that they plan to manually control traffic lights to ease congestion, but they warn that traffic times, they will still be long. But despite the potential traffic troubles, we spoke to plenty of fans who say they just can't contain their excitement.
There was a couple of explosions, but there was one successful landing. Well, first you see it, and then you hear it, and then you feel the shake. Actually, on one of them, I was sitting on top of my RV, and I could feel the RV shake.
So we came here on Sunday, March the 10th, so I could wake up on my birthday at the beach. My first time watching a rocket go up in outer space.
And it's definitely an event you don't want to miss. These two events, they already bring out tons of crowds, some from other parts of the country and others from other parts of the world. We spoke with two men, one of whom has never seen a rocket launch and another who has seen several. He tells us it's the exhilaration that keeps him coming back.
They'll have a small passport-looking document that says Merchant Mariner credential on it, and that just ensures that the people that are taking out on the water know how to do that safely. The best thing is make sure they got enough PFDs on board, they're going to be doing safety briefs, and they're going to be aware of the safety zone that the captain of the port has imposed for these launch operations.
Well, Cameron County officials have also made preparations for the launch. County Parks Director Joe Vega says an air traffic control plan is in place. And if you're looking to get a little closer to the action, there are plenty of boat tour operators on South Padre Island who are willing to take visitors out on the water to get a closer look. And some boat captains, they travel miles away to witness what they describe as historic. Being on a boat may be portrayed as the best seat in the house, but there are some potential risks. Coast Guard Lieutenant Steve Gunderson, he says that they do have certain restrictions in place for these charter boat captains.
They'll have a small passport-looking document that says Merchant Mariner credential on it, and that just ensures that the people that are taking out on the water know how to do that safely. The best thing is make sure they got enough PFDs on board, they're going to be doing safety briefs, and they're going to be aware of the safety zone that the captain of the port has imposed for these launch operations.
And you can find more information on those safety zones on the Coast Guard's website.
All right, and if you're just tuning in this morning, our Sonya Hill is live right now near Starbase, where SpaceX plans to attempt a third launch of its rocket ship. Sonya, tell us about the process and some of the issues SpaceX had to address before getting to this point that we're at right now.
Well, Jeremiah, we know that SpaceX had to get some approval from the FAA to conduct this launch, and they had to make some changes to their rocket system first. The FAA identified several corrective actions that needed to be addressed for the Super Heavy booster. Those actions, they included redesigns, updated control system modeling, and much more. For Starship, the changes included hardware redesigns, flammability analysis updates, and the installation of more fire protection.
And Sonya, what happens next if this launch is successful?
That's a really good question, Jeremiah. Well, SpaceX says that they plan on conducting many more test flights with the ultimate goal of carrying humans to the moon and then maybe Mars and someday maybe even beyond.
That is so exciting. And many may wonder also what happens if this launch gets canceled.
Well, I think a lot of people are wondering that, Jeremiah. So if it's not going to happen today, then maybe it'll happen tomorrow, depending on why the launch was canceled.
All right, Sonya, thank you so much. Well, happening today, a judge will hear arguments.
Welcome, RGB. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are coming at you live from Raptor Roost for the third SpaceX Starship launch, and it is such an exciting morning out here in Cameron County. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you guys to a man named Keith Reynolds, who has made this all possible. Come join us, Keith.
Okay, thanks.
So Keith is the owner of Raptor Roost here. So I've got to say, Keith, thank you so much for allowing us to broadcast from your beautiful property.
You're very welcome. Glad to have y'all.
Absolutely.
It's always fun.
No, thank you so much. And so we were having a really interesting conversation last night. You've owned this piece of land now for how long?
Over 20 years.
And tell me about how everything has changed around your property in the last 5-10 years.
Went from total privacy and solitude to being back in the big city almost with the traffic and number of people around. But they're all good people.
No, absolutely. So did you ever imagine that 3.8 miles away from your beautiful property would be the gateway to Mars?
Never in a million years would I have dreamed there'd be, big homes being built right next to me. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of fun, you have lots of people here right now. Tell us about what is going on right now here at the property.
Right now we have, probably a little less than 100 people joining us to watch the launch. It's kind of an all-night event. Everybody comes in the day before the road closes, and everybody gets to visit and talk and share stories, and then watch a historic launch together.
Historic is right, and it's so fun enjoying this event with all of our friends here. Friends like Mike. Come on, Mike, why don't you join us? Mike, step on in. So today's a very special day for Mike. Today is Mike's birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you very much.
So how is it like enjoying such a historic event for your birthday?
It's by far the best ever.
Oh, zinger. So tell us a little bit about the conditions today, what we're seeing. If we're seeing the rocket here 3.8 miles away, but right now it is a bit cloudy, and it seems like we're a minute out from the launch.
Yep, we're hoping to at least get a little breeze, maybe blow some of the clouds by, but we've got good camera footage and good people, so it's a good close view.
And you guys can't see because I'm seeing this from the other end of the camera, but everyone who's here is starting to inch closer and closer to the edge of the viewing site, and I think that's because we're getting close to the launch.
I think about a minute.
We're about a minute out from the launch right now. So what is happening right now on the launch pad?
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
Boca Chica.
Representing Boca Chica.
So they've got the vehicle filled up, and it's holding on, clamps are released, and it's a go.
So right now we're waiting on liftoff. So 30 seconds. I heard someone say 30 seconds. Oh my God. So we're getting very close. This is getting exciting, guys. I don't know what to expect. Oh, here we go. All righty. she goes. We have liftoff, ladies and gentlemen.
Here comes the sound.
All right, and here comes the sound. So this is the second SpaceX launch. I have viewed. The first one I saw was the Isla Blanca, and this is a little bit closer in the last launch. And I've got to say, it is a bit louder here at Raptor Roost. There she goes. We're behind a cloud, but I can feel it. And she's up. She's up there. There she goes, guys. There's Starship. I don't know what you guys can hear at home, but here on the ground it is very loud. But she is still going. A remarkable sight. Starship in our backyard. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like a successful launch. So what we are waiting for is we are waiting for separation for the booster and Starship to separate. And the booster is going to be splashing 12 miles off the coast of South Padre Island here in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's where the booster is going. But Starship, look at that. This is gorgeous, guys. Starship is going to keep moving. Starship is going to end up in the Indian Ocean, and if it makes it to the Indian Ocean, Starship will not be recovered. So right now, what we're waiting on is for the booster to splash in the Gulf of Mexico. So it's really hard to see there, but guys, it looks pretty good.
Cloud, get out of the way, get out of the way.
Right now we have quite a fair amount of cloud coverage, so it's hard to see what exactly is happening with the vehicle.
I can see it.
No. So will we be able to see the booster separate and fall into the Gulf of Mexico?
We don't know.
We don't know. It's never happened
seen that
yet.
before.
You can definitely see the separation when it happens. So, but
If we can see
if we get a chance.
And we're waiting for separation, ladies and gentlemen. This is so exciting.
Well, it's still sounding. So.
And I could still hear it a bit.
That could be Starship.
Yeah, that could be Starship.
Alrighty, so we're hearing reports that it has separated.
I've just seen it briefly. Oh, there, see it? Come on, Klaus. Move.
But out here in Raptor Roost, there's quite a bit of excitement. People are excited. It seems like it's been a successful launch.
Now I have to wait for the rest of the success.
So I actually have a really special gentleman here who traveled all the way from Belgium to view the launch today.
Oh, okay.
Yus, join us. Welcome. Yeah. Belgium, I have to ask, how far of a flight is that?
It's a 10-hour flight just to see this rocket go up. I'm a little excited. I mean, you know, I'm very excited.
Tell me how are you feeling? So you were kind of worried that maybe the launch wasn't going to happen today.
Yes, because we have this afternoon to leave back to Belgium. So I had a very small window to see it.
Yeah.
And it went off.
Aren't you so happy?
I'm very happy. I'm the happiest man on earth.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad that you're here in Texas with us and that you're enjoying your stay.
Oh, I do. But Texas is very huge.
Oh,
great.
Yes, it is. And you've seen quite a bit of it, though.
Yes. We started in Houston, go over to Dallas, then San Antonio, Austin, then come down to here, to the most southern point, I think.
Uh-huh. So tell me so far, what has been the highlight of your trip?
This one. Seeing the rocket go up. That's the highlight of my life.
So, Yus, I've got to say, I'm so glad that I got to share that with you today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're joining us here at NBC 23 News today.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Thank you, Yus.
There's not a second coming, you know.
All righty, guys. Let's see what we can see right now, maybe up in the sky.
Who's back? Yeah. All right, who's back? Keep an eye out.
So I'm hearing reports that Starship is orbital. So this is so exciting. This is a step forward. This is now the third launch of the Starship flight vehicle. The first one did lift off, but we did not see separation. The second one, we did have successful separation, but then it exploded up in the sky. But now, guys, it seems like we are continuing to move in the right direction. So this is what we're wanting to see here in the Rio Grande Valley. And what you are seeing is Starship coming back into the atmosphere. This is so exciting. This is wonderful stuff. So Keith, why don't you join us again? So how do you feel about this?
Oh, this is awesome. It's just awesome. It's so much fun. We got SpaceX employees right over here cheering along with us, and we're waiting for the booster to come back and splash down.
So as we were mentioning, we're not going to know what that looks like yet, right?
No, we've never seen that before, so hats off to SpaceX. Congratulations to them. Hopefully we're going to get to see the booster come back.
And it's so cool because, as I was mentioning, this is forward progress.
Oh, yes.
And you've seen all of the launches.
I've seen
so
every
far.
single launch so far.
So tell me about your experiences with all the different launches.
Well, the SN series, the original belly flops, those were actually a lot of fun. It had a lot clearer skies, be able to watch it go up and then start free falling down. And what's amazing is you could actually hear the wind as it was dropping down. Those were a lot of fun.
No, awesome. But this one is special.
Yeah, this is great. I'm hoping we're able to see the booster come down.
Is that what we're waiting on now?
That's
We're waiting
what
for the
on
booster?
now. We're waiting. Huh?
They said it did already.
Oh, it's already down? Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so we're hearing reports that the booster did already splash down.
That's what I'm being told.
Well, that's fabulous. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
So
great.
at this point, Starship actually, whether we know whether it made it to its destination or not, how long will that take? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea. We've never crossed this path before.
This is uncharted territory
right,
for all of
right.
us.
That's right. Congratulations, SpaceX.
And you know what? And that's exciting.
It is exciting. Very exciting.
So I'm hearing that Starship is still orbital. So this
That's
is
awesome.
fantastic.
Yes. It's a huge success. Huge success. Yeah.
And I've got to say, how does it feel like being here on this property and seeing this all happen 3.8 miles away?
Who would have ever thought, that this would be happening here at Boca Chica? That we'd all get a chance to see history in the making.
1 second. I'm getting reports from the control room. We're hearing that it's okay, so we're hearing that Starship is orbital and the engines have been turned off. So, guys, I think it's safe to say this has been a very successful Starship launch. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And guys at home, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for joining us here on NBC 23 News. Of course, we hope to see you again. Okay, there's more. Alrighty, in the control room, tell me what we're waiting on.
Loss of booster during engine landing burn.
So guys, how does it feel being here for a successful launch?
Whoa, we'll come back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that what you're doing right now? You're booking your next tickets?
Yeah, next month we're
Next
coming back.
month.
They told me there was one in April, another one.
Who told you that?
You did.
And you know,
Elon called?
Elon called.
well, Elon did tweet recently that they're hoping to have how many?
Nine this year.
Nine this year. That's a pretty ambitious goal.
It's going to be an expensive.
Okay, excuse me. He said at least 6 launches this year. That's pretty exciting.
That's amazing.
And a pretty expensive one for me.
Houston's going to be booking a lot of flights.
Yes, we will.
And my news director's in the control room. Brad, we're going to be covering all of these, right? A Starship has entered. So I'm receiving reports that Starship is going to be coasting for the next 30 minutes. And while orbital. So guys, as I'm getting these reports from my control room, I'm sharing them with you at home. And I'm hearing some cheering. And I'm hearing some cheering from the SpaceX employees a few yards away. From where we're sitting here at Raptor Roost, there's quite a bit of construction going on around you. So just a few yards away, there's a group of SpaceX employees.
Yes. SpaceX is building some of these homes for the executives, and apparently this one here is going to be for employee viewing, which is great for us. We'll get to meet with lots of fun people.
And they're viewing it right now. Is this something that you can show the viewers, Rolando? Can you pan the camera? Let's see the construction that's happening right to our right here.
Hey, no way!
Say hi!
Hey, wait!
There you go.
Yay!
Those are our friends from SpaceX just a few yards away.
Woo!
And you know what? I've got to say, they're not the only ones that are excited. Today was a successful day, a great day here at Raptor Roost. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on NBC 23 News and sharing it with our news family. So Freddie and Frank today will have much more on today's launch today at 4 and also on CBS 4 all evening long. So I hope you guys will tune in. We're going to go ahead and send it back to your previously scheduled programming. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.